right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, blessed of my Father. Good morning, my beautiful sisters. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sisters and brothers, I need to correct myself here. I need to get into the right language. Hi, guys. Good morning. Good morning. It's Beauty Cotella over here. It's Sunday morning. It's Grace Talks time. I don't know about you, but I'll tell you what God woke me up with this morning. Every now and again, he gives me a song. Let me not say every now and again. Almost every day, but some days not. Some days he's quiet. I wake up and my mind is just still on yesterday's thoughts. But sometimes he wakes me up with a song. And I'd like to find out from you if you have a song this morning. But mine was Trust in the Lord. You know that chorus? Trust in the Lord and don't despair. He is a friend so true. No matter what your troubles are, Jesus will see you through. There you go. I gave you a special item, but I woke up with that song and I'm pinning it here on Grace Talk so that I do not forget it. It's a new week, guys. It's a new month. It's a new quarter. And hey, it's a new semester. We are in the second half of 2023. Can you believe it? How faithful is our God? How faithful is our God? Anyway, so it's me this morning, but I have a guest coming up shortly. But before we do that, let's get our house in order, guys. Let's get our house in order. Can we please just have some greetings? I see we are here. I see there are people present in the house. So let's greet. Let's see who took the front row seat this morning. The lioness. Yes. Good morning, my lioness. Good morning, greeting us from Cape Town. Thank you so much. And Mo is in the house. So Botswana is in the house. We're just quickly taking a roll call, just getting a country check in. So South Africa is represented, Cape Town represented. Lungas is here, joining us from Ezwelicha. Moren Betnan, Moren Lepondweni, and Nospiwo joining us from Queenstown, Kukomani. I wonder how cold it is up there. Right, good morning. Cape Town seems to be here. Cape Town is in the house. Good morning. All right, okay. Sing when the day is bright. So true. Sing through the darkest nights every day, all the way. Let us sing. So what is your song this morning? What has God given you as a song this morning? We're starting, it's almost like a new year. We have a number of programs lined up here at the Theatre of Grace as we're going into the second half of this year. And so perhaps let me do that before, I don't know, maybe I must let my guest in and then make those announcements because it's rude for us to be talking and there's somebody who is outside. All right. Starts joining us from the UAE. Good morning. Thank you so much. Somebody joining us from Edgarecha. All right. Okay. All right, guys, let me actually let my guest in so that the rest of the announcements and the rest of the talking I can do with her in the house. Morning, Lindy. We're from Guantsela, it again. All right, it's good to have you here. Okay, so our guest this morning, there she is. I hope you can see her. There we have our guest this morning. Good morning, Naome.
Good morning, Sister Beauty, and good morning, everyone.
You sound nice and great this morning. All right.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. I'm so looking forward to what you have to share for us here on Grace Talks. And ladies, please, let's show some love for Naome here. Let's send them hearts and them comments just so that she can feel a little bit warm in this house. She's part of the community. She's a member of the Theatre of Grace. We're going to hear a little bit more from her just now. But allow me, please, to make two announcements. So that I'm hoping to make them again sometime in the middle of this conversation. But sometimes I forget, but let me do that very quickly. Share screen. Okay. Let's go back here. Let's try this one more time. Technology is waking me, is not as woke as I would like to be. Okay, so here we go. Here's our first one. Those of you who are part of the community will know that from today, basically the month of July is the month of service here at the Theatre of Grace. What we do every quarter, we actually go out there and serve our community, because not only are we grace recipients, but we are also dispensers of grace. When we talk about how we have received grace, how we have found grace in the eyes of God, God has used people to do that to us. And so we also are wanting people to say, I have found grace and favor in the eyes of God through Beauty, through Naome, through Alita, through Nolunga, through etc., etc. So from today onwards, this month, there's a lot of work taking place in our communities. Oh, I am so humbled by the work that our sisters are doing. And it's too early for me to cry. Some are feeding, just feeding people, bringing warm food to people. The most, and this is close to my heart, some are bringing school uniforms, jerseys, shoes for those that are not that are needy, the orphans and stuff like that. King Williamstown, I so love what they're doing. They're buying fleece blankets for Omama, the ones that are selling on the street. I love the symbolism of woman to woman covering each other's backs. I just love that. So there's so much work going on in various places across the not only the country, basically across SADC, from South Africa to Zimbabwe, to Botswana, to Lesotho. Beautiful work taking place, and I'm so humbled to be part of that. So that's many are going today, but throughout this month, my sisters and myself were out there just being a blessing to someone. But please take note of the following date, and I need your help here, ladies. On the 9th of August, it is National Women's Day here in South Africa. It's National Women's Day, right, where we focus on women. But what we've decided to do here at the Theatre of Grace this year is to focus on young women. And God has revealed to me one of the things we need to fight as the Theatre of Grace, we need to stand up against and fight it, and that is teenage pregnancy. But we'll unveil that at a later stage. But on the 9th of August, we will be in Motherwell, in one of the schools there, with a group of young girls from that school. Now, when you come and visit children, you don't just come bare hands. You don't come with nothing. So what we are doing is we are collecting dignity packs. All right. We are collecting dignity packs to give each and every one of our daughters there, or our young sisters, for the young members of the Theatre of Grace. So we will need your help. One dignity pack costs about 70 Rand. All right. So we would like if each and every one of us here at the Theatre of Grace, as the bigger community, can donate just one, we would cover about 500 girls. There's 700 girls that we need that need this, but I'm trusting that people will give more than one. That way we are able to cover all the girls, but we'll be able to give you feedback. So please, I'll give you the information in the various platforms as to how we can then bring in the donation for the dignity pack for our girls. But more information is coming in this month in that regard. Thank you very much. And then wherever it is that you are joining me, you will see I put information on the Theatre of Grace conference. I'm not going to be very loud on this one because I don't want to find ourselves on the other side of this. We have space. We still have space at the hotel for people that want to stay there, all right? But we are almost at capacity. What we did when Malinus and myself went to see the hotel, we picked up, okay, we can push up the space a little bit more. So that's why we've reopened it. So we have a little bit of space at the hotel, and then we have a little bit more for day visitors, all right? But for both people, day visitors especially, don't wait until October to say, I'm then going to get myself there. There will be no Sabbath visitors for that day. So in other words, you can't wake up on the morning of the 28th of October and go to the conference, because then there is no space. So if you are here and you still want to go, my friend, speak to me ASAP, all right? But I've shared the links there, and I'm sharing this to the community as well. Okay, sorry, I've been talking too much, but that's part of my job. I'm here to talk too much. Okay, I'm gonna take a few more greetings, and Naome, then we are coming to you. All right, let's see, where did we stop? All right, of course, the next thing that we do is what this person has done. Tag another person. All right, tag another. If you know there's someone that needs to hear this, tag. Last week we were speaking to and about our daughters and money, but really we're talking about us, young women and money. All right, and one of the things we said when we finished last week, we said we then need to go into not only how to manage the money that you get from your boss, but perhaps talking about being a boss. You know, but that is why Naome is here. So I see Mo is tagging people. One of those that she's tagged is her daughter. So I'm saying to you, tag your young sisters. Tell them to come over here. All right. Party over here. Tell them. All right. Thank you, Lungas. Thank you. Just giving some love for Naome. somebody greeting us from Cape Town. Cape Town is awake. Cape Town is fully awake. And my lioness is calling people. That's what I like. Good morning, somebody. Good morning, Nomvuselelo. Ingobo betunani. Ingobo is in the house. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, leaders must come. Isa Mpumi. Amish, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Talent joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Looking forward to this presentation. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I absolutely, I'm grateful for those that will be contributing. Okay. Naome is coming to us. She's an entrepreneur, all right, and she's a mom, and she's gonna tell us a little bit more about herself as well, all right. But what we brought her for here is to talk to us more about the whole issue of entrepreneurship. That word is going to kill me by the time we finish this conversation, because it's always it plays with the tongue. Entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, that word. Okay, business. All right. So, but before we go straight into that conversation in terms of the insights that she has shared with us at the Theatre of Grace WhatsApp group, and we said let's actually share these broadly. Let's first find out a little bit more about you, my friend, before we share what you have for us. So let me allow you first to talk. Tell us a little bit about you and about what you do, and how did you get to become what you are, to get to do what you do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sis Beauty, for this opportunity. I was telling Sis Beauty this morning that I wanted to try to be like Jonah and run away. It's not the first time she asked me, but I said no. But I saw that God really is calling me to do this. But I thank God for this opportunity, that what I've gone through is going to make somebody also be encouraged this morning. Yeah, my name is Naome Mundonda. I'm a bookkeeper by profession, and I'm a tailor. So mark that, bookkeeper and a tailor. The concept, the way I put it. I'm married, a mother of two daughters. Yeah, so I'm really fascinated about the young ladies, because I've got the young ladies in the house. So we need to equip the young ladies, looking at the world we are living in. Sometimes they can be academic, but they don't get the jobs. And then what next? When we grew up, we only waited. But you know what? You go to school, maybe finish to a certain extent, and then you get married. But now the setup has changed. I also love reading Christian books. I also love cooking. I'm always in the kitchen. Yeah. All right. So, God works. He says, I've got plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Sometimes we go through painful experiences and we think that God has left us, but God is still in control. If I look at how I started, I look at back and say, it was just a puzzle. And then I saw it when God was done with me. Wow. Okay. I'll start here. I used to work as a tailor. My desire was to be a bookkeeper. Okay. But I got a job of being a tailor. So I'm in the aviation industry. So a tailor in the aviation industry, we call them a trimmer. Okay. They're not tailors, they are trimmers. Okay. So I got a job there, and I saw I'm getting not so much money. And I purposed in my heart that I'm not going to go to the office to ask for money. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something to add to that income. So I used to bake scones every day when I come back from work. So I told myself that the money for the scones is going to cater for these smaller things, the groceries, the toiletries, and then the other money is going to cater for other stuff. So, when God has gifted you on such things, you don't even know. Every day I could come back. It is back in 2002. Every day I could come back home with 100 rands. It was a lot of money by then. Yeah. So every day 100 rands. And then on Fridays, I used to get people, I'm going home. I need a 20-liter scones. So it becomes a bit more. So that's how I started my entrepreneurship, that big word. So humble beginnings. I spoke about humble beginnings. Yeah. Okay. In life, I say to myself, I will live as if I'm the only person in this world. Because I know that people around will start, you are working, but why do you bother yourself doing this? Yeah. So whatever you want to do not even look at the surroundings. If you are to look at the surroundings, look at the positive ones. Because people will say, just close your ears and pretend as if you do not hear anything.
Yeah.
So I did that
I
for
need to
some time.
I need to put a pin on this one, my friend. That you've just thrown a big one. In life, I
Uh-huh.
want I want to live as if I'm the only person
Mm-hmm.
in this world. And if I am to look at people, I am to look at the positive ones because
Yes.
so many of us, we are
Mm-hmm.
afraid one to start small and we are
Yes.
afraid to fail and we
Mm-hmm.
are afraid to fail in front of the people. And
Yes.
so in the end, we end up not starting because we do have people in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that
Mm-hmm.
is a
Mm-hmm.
skill. That is a skill we all need to learn. To for some reason to just block people from your view and to
Mm-hmm.
block your ears from here because people will talk.
Yes.
People, oh,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
powerful. Mm,
Yes.
continue.
Once,
I just
yes.
I need a pin on that one.
Okay. So in life, sometimes we do not do things because of people.
Yeah,
But I always tell my daughters that live as if you're the only person
sure.
and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Mm,
Each and every person has got a purpose. There's no one who's a mistake to be in this world.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
So that's how I started. And then I continued. And the devil, sometimes when you say, I want to do this, he will throw things. So
yeah.
as I was doing that, I said, you know what? Yes, I want to be a bookkeeper, but I've not finalized my course. So I was working, I was doing my baking, I was going
Mm,
to school in the evening
yeah. Mm,
to do my bookkeeping. So I
mm,
met this lady by the name Tuli. So as we were discussing, Tuli, what do you do? Naomi, I do register companies.
mm,
What do you want to register a company? She said all the details. And I said,
mm,
I'll register one.
mm,
But I did not have any plans for that. Okay,
yeah.
that was 2008 by then. I
Mm,
registered the company. After registering the company, I went and I opened a bank account for the company. So,
mm,
so what I used to do, I used to put 100 rands every month just to maintain that bank account.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah. So, like when you wait upon the Lord, you have to wait in anticipation. That Lord,
yeah.
this is what I want, but I'm
Mm,
working towards it.
mm,
Yeah. So that was 2008. And then I kept on working. 2009, 2010, 2011.
mm.
Okay. Where I was working now, it was very busy. So
Still
now
as
the Sabbath,
a
yes.
tailor. Mister, I failed that other word. Trimmer. So you were
Yeah, the trimmer. Okay, the tailor. The tailor
mm,
is the easy one. So now it was getting busy. So the Sabbath issue kicked in now. God
Angusia.
said, you know what? We have prepared. Now I have to push you to
Mm,
where I want you to be.
mm, mm,
And I used to say, on Sabbath, I can't work. No, 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 just one Sabbath.
mm,
And I
mm,
said, Lord, yeah,
yeah.
now it's getting tough. What do I do?
Mm,
So I used to not to go to work on Sabbath.
mm,
So when people go to work, they know this job is urgent. They will work it halfway and
mm.
leave my portion so that
Yo.
when I come on Monday,
Mm.
I fail to meet the deadline so
Yeah,
that
it's
I can
evident
prove
that
my
you were not there. Mm,
yeah, so that I prove myself, Uti, I'm really doing the wrong thing for the company.
mm, mm,
So I would go into the bathroom and I said, Lord, if
mm,
ever you have not shown yourself, this is the time. I need
mm,
the energy that by 9 o'clock before the
mm.
deadline, I should be done with this.
Yeah.
And I'll be
Mm,
done and I'll be done before 9 o'clock. And I said to my superior, I'm done. Huh? Are you done? Really? So that
yeah.
was my life.
Mm.
That
He
I
gives
don't
you
go to work.
he
So
gives
I
more
don't go. Yeah.
mm,
So I don't go to work on Sabbath. I find my portion on Monday, which is
mm,
needed at 9 o'clock. But I said, Lord, you're not
mm,
going to let me down now. Not
yeah.
now.
Mm,
So I'll
yeah.
do my part. By 9 o'clock, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
Yeah. So fast forward, my
Mm,
husband,
mm,
the job ended.
yeah.
And she said, you know what? what do we do now? And I said,
So
you know what?
did you leave or did it end?
No, I did not leave. I'm still there. I'm still
Yeah.
there. But
Okay.
my
Oh,
husband is the one which his company closed first.
yes.
So,
Okay.
and I said to him, we sat down and discussed, but you know what? Rather
Mm,
than going to look for a job, just go
mm,
and look for an office and a workshop. We are going
mm.
to see what we're going to do there.
Amen.
Yes,
Yeah.
by that time we were getting like piece jobs. So I would work after hours. When I come back from work, I'll
Mm,
work at home. So I said,
mm,
just get an office and a
mm,
workshop, and then God will take us through.
mm. And again, I
Okay.
want to pause there, Naomi, because that is almost the story of many. Ladies, I see many of you here. Twai is here, and I need to hear from you. That is the story of so many a woman. We call it
Mhm.
side hustle. Um,
Okay.
we're actually talking about this with my friend that is here visiting at my house. Umama Songwe, that we're always doing something else. That most times we would have a job and then we would have something. So it
Mm,
be it selling scones or being there's always something else. I know my friend over here. The two of them are selling. They are working, but they're also selling forever
mm,
living products. So it's a common feature of women to not just be doing one thing in terms of trying to increase our income, but let's talk
mm,
about that in terms of what it takes. What does it take from you? Because now you are working full time and you also have a side hustle and you're a mother and a wife and what does that take in terms of what physically, what does it require of you as a person?
yeah, as a person, you need to balance. You need to
Yeah,
balance and know what to do, when to do it. But sometimes we focus on our side ourselves and our work and neglecting our families. So we need
yeah,
to strike a balance there.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
all right. Continue. So your husband loses his job.
Okay. So, he's so worried, have lost a job. I said, no, don't worry.
Mm,
And what I like about God, I'll go deeper into that when I'm doing the other part. That
mm,
whenever God make two people meet, they're of
yeah,
different temperament. So when
yeah.
he's down, I'm up. When I'm
Mm,
down, he's there. So
mm,
we are different, but in our diversity, we are able to work together.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
So after that, it started getting busy on
mm,
our side. And I said
okay.
to him, you know what, love, I'm tired. I can't have two jobs now. I need to
Yeah. What
choose
were
one.
you doing now on this side? On this side. So his small business. What was it?
Okay, we're doing the trimming.
Okay.
So
Okay.
where he was working, he was the storeman.
Okay.
So he could
Okay.
get clients for me, which you know what, we
Oh.
want this done. So I say, oh, my wife can do this. So I was
Mm,
doing that at home. So after
yeah.
that, we got the workshop. So I would
Yeah.
work
Mm,
on my permanent job. And then after
mm,
that, I'm going to
mm,
go, if ever there's a job, I'm going to go work there.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a double job now. There were two jobs now for me. So and I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I'm not able now to maintain these two jobs. I have to choose one. I
Yeah.
can't save two masters now. It's enough.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
Um. So after that, the business was not there yet. But I
mm,
said, you know what? God
mm,
will provide.
yeah.
I'm coming. So.
Amen.
Mhm. So I resigned.
Yeah.
I resigned where I used to work. So I went, joined my husband.
Mm,
3 weeks of the month,
mm.
nothing.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah. As it
but the
happens.
last, yes, now we have the expenses, we have the school fees, our kids are still young. It's
Yeah.
2012 now. I
Yo.
registered the company 2008, but it
Mm.
only started to function in 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also
So
just a thing. That's also a thing to talk about. That sometimes we maybe with our impatience, or it looks like that when we see someone that's now fully operational and the company is running. It
mhm,
looks to us that it went from A to Z simply like
mhm,
that. It's such
yes,
a common story that the company has been there for long, but it only
mhm,
really started to be proper. I mean, in your
yes,
case, registered 2008, full operation 2012, but even there, it did not take off. So it doesn't. So what
Yes.
we're talking about here is not something. It's not. We're not bringing a formula like you go become an entrepreneur easy.
Mm, mm,
But there are steps. But God remains faithful as you keep saying.
yes. Yes. So
Mm,
3 weeks, no jobs,
yeah.
nothing.
Mm,
And I say, Lord, we
mm,
are here. We
yeah.
wait upon you.
Mm, yeah.
Ah, and I'm telling you, the last week of the month, we're going
Mm,
to get the job who's going to cover all the expenses.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aish. Yeah.
Hmm.
He somehow provides, eh?
Yeah. He somehow provides. He's got more than 1,000 ways to provide for you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
Mm,
we did not have the finances to start the business, but we
mm,
did a survey that we can literally say to the clients, pay the deposit. Then we take the deposit, use it to buy the material, and then when we are done, they pay
yeah.
the balance. So that's
Yeah.
how we started the business. We did not have money.
I love
Hmm.
that because again, the other thing that we often talk about, and often young people say this: we want
Mm,
to start a
mm.
business, but we need capital. So you guys did not have startup capital
No,
because
we did not
the
have.
other flip side of the startup capital is that often you get given the capital either by investors or you get
Mm,
given the capital by a bank or a financial institution now. So already
mm,
you're starting on the back foot because you owe somebody something. So
mm,
your
mm,
approach to starting was rather slow,
mm.
but it meant that you started up with what you had.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So continue.
so,
I love that. So
mhm,
they would get deposit for that which they wanted. That's actually very good.
mhm.
Yeah,
So as we
yeah.
go, the business is up and down. Now
Mm,
we are stuck.
mm.
We have done the jobs for the clients, and the clients are no longer paying.
Hey, there's that.
Yeah, you get another job, and they say, you know what? I'm just gonna pay you fully after you've done the job. Just go
Yeah.
buy the material.
Mm,
Where is the money? The money is
mm.
not there.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a friend of ours. We spoke to him about that. I said, literally, how much do you want? And I said,
Mm,
you know what? We really need 200 rands.
mm, mm,
200 rands. That was our
mm.
breakthrough until today.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
So after that, we have seen the hand of the Lord working. Was before we even operated when we got that. Sorry to go back. When we got that workshop,
Yeah.
we called the elders of the church, and I said, Lord, you are going to reside in this place
Mm.
because we know that you are the provider.
Yeah.
So they came and dedicated that workshop.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's
And I said,
wonderful.
Lord,
Mm.
you said, ask anything in my name and believe.
Yeah.
This,
Mm.
yeah, as we have started this,
Mm.
we fully trust in you. We do not have powers. Yes, we can market the jobs, we can
Yeah.
advertise, we can do things, but you
Mm.
are the only one.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Little is much when God is in it, definitely.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
God has that ever so you guys now are continuing in that business over these years. Both of you working together with your husband.
Yes, yes. So
Mm.
since 2012 until to date,
Mm.
we are
Yeah.
still in operational.
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah. So what we do,
Mm.
yeah, it's not easy to work as a couple,
I
but
know.
we put some rules and regulations that when we are at work, we are professionals. We don't know each other.
It time.
Even when we are angry with each other at home, when we step into that workshop, business as normal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very challenging.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
and it has worked for us. Some of the
Mm.
clients they don't even pick that we are husband and wife.
Is it?
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have got the discipline. But it's true that it looks better like that. No, no, no.
Hmm.
Well done.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So what I then when I look into Naomi, because you then have daughters,
Yes.
which with time, I don't know how old or how young they were when you guys started the business.
Mhm.
But now you have daughters who are old enough to be incorporated, or for lack of a better word, to be brought into the business. And not only are you just bringing them into the business, but you're also teaching them business principles. But
Mhm.
before we even talk about how you have brought them in, let's talk a little then about the importance of not just women, but young women,
Mm.
and entrepreneurship. In other words, them being responsible for not only getting money from someone, but for generating their own means of income. So let's talk about that first, and then you can tell us how you have brought your daughters in and everything that you've been teaching them, which is so beautiful.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ish, I'm so fascinated about the young ladies. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Um, Sometimes as young ladies, they've got high expectations from others. I always
Mm,
tell my daughters that if you want somebody with a car, have it have it have the car
mm,
first before you
mm.
expect it from somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
So as young women, ish, you know what? I think my head is now wherever I see things, I see money. I see a plastic paper along the road, I see money. Yeah. So so so
entrepreneurship.
so you
Mm,
know, like when you are an entrepreneur,
mm, mm.
everything you see an opportunity of money. You know what?
Yeah.
If I can do this, if I can
Mm,
do that. Yeah.
mm,
So I'll just go back to humble beginnings.
mm,
Um, Giving an example of young ladies. Maybe let's say they are at school. If you see your
mm,
daughter wants, mommy, please buy me some sweets so that I can sell at school.
mm,
Hey,
mm,
groom
mm.
that,
Yeah,
groom
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Mm,
groom
mm.
that. But
Watch
sometimes
that.
yes, we need to encourage and teach our kids.
Mm,
Yes, academically, they
mm.
can be okay. But the
Yeah.
jobs, they won't be
Mm,
available for them. How are they going to sustain?
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Sometimes they put themselves in situations unnecessary
mm.
because
Yeah,
that's the only way they can go, the only way out they can go. But
yeah.
if they are able to get their own money, I'll go back. My daughters were 10 and 12. They were still pathfinders,
Mm,
those were Adventist.
mm,
So we do what we call honors.
mm,
Honors, we bake, we
mm,
cook, we knit. Yeah,
mm,
I've got, we did the knitting honor
mm,
with my daughters. And I said, you guys, do you want money? And they said,
mm,
yes, mommy. And said, good for you. I'm not going to give you my money.
mm.
I'm going to buy wool for you and
Uh-huh.
you will knit. And I'm
Uh,
going to sell for you.
yeah. Mm,
So
mm,
I did that. I
mm,
bought wool. I think
mm,
by that time, they got about 5,000 rands. And I said, I don't want anything from that money. Please just share. When you
mm,
share, I need to see your budget. What are you
mm,
going to use this money? So
mm,
remember that even when you are knitting, God is the
mm,
one who's giving you that wisdom, that energy. So God
mm.
first.
Yeah.
Your
Mm,
needs follow and
yeah.
your wants.
Mm,
Obviously, you have to spoil yourself once in a while.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
God is.
I've got a lot of business ideas. As I was telling you, Sis Beauty, I was running a laundry, and in
Mm,
December was not my month. It was my kids' month. But you know what? You're going to run that laundry. You're going to
mm,
pay my rent. You're going to
mm,
pay my bills. And
mm,
whatever profits you get from there, it's not mine. You share
mm,
among yourselves.
mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
I
that is
learned.
so, because now
Mhm,
you're giving them practical experience of
mhm.
everything. Sometimes they can have their own idea of
Yes.
um of how you make the money, as long as they ask for money and you are able to give them.
Mhm, mhm,
They don't figure out just how difficult it is to be able. So if mommy at the end of the month makes 10,000,
mhm.
but what she made, the whole revenue was not 10,000.
Yes.
Rent has been paid, daily expenses have been paid, business operations have been paid. Now putting them in there, number one, they are responsible for making that money. So if they do
Mm,
well with the laundry, the
mhm,
clients are happy, the clients come back. So that's actually very
mm,
powerful. Mm,
mhm, mhm. Yeah. So sometimes we look at how we grow up and then we think to compensate our daughters in a way, not knowing that we are really spoiling them. But you
yeah,
know what? I grew up not having this, so I'm going just to do everything for my daughters. But they need to work. Mine, they knew that when it comes to money, you work for your
yeah,
money.
yeah,
Yeah. A little
yeah.
slumber, folding of your hands.
Mm.
Mm-mm. No.
And they are
Yeah.
still part of the business now.
Um, Yeah. So what I did, the other one is still at school. She's finalizing her honor. She's doing she's in the what's that course? In the
She's
construction.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, she's a quantity surveyor. She's finalizing that. And the
Okay.
younger one is doing aircraft engineering.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Thank
So
God.
so in this
Our
business we are
girls.
in, yeah. So in this business we are in, I threw
Mm,
them in the deep end.
mm, mm,
Yeah. So I'll say to them, okay, I'll book myself for a holiday. And I said the
mm,
company is all yours. I'm just
mm,
a phone call away, an email
mm.
away. So I'll
Yeah.
leave the older one so they know how to run the company.
Mm,
The finances, when I want them to pay, there's no secret with my business. And I said, you know what? I don't know
yeah.
when I'm going to sleep. So I don't
Mm,
want you to struggle.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to leave things which you are not able to operate.
Mm,
So I
mm,
go for a holiday. I leave them there when they are closed school with, Sissy, you're
mm,
going to work.
mm,
These are the keys. You're going to open the
mm,
emails and see the clients. When the clients call, if you don't know what to do, you call me. So both
mm.
of them, they know how to run the business.
Wow. Wow.
They know
That
where
is
we buy materials. Hmm.
That's so powerful because on the one hand, I mean, I'm listening to what they're doing in terms of their studies. On the one hand,
Yes.
sorry, ladies, I've got the cold. I'm coughing a little too
Mm-hmm.
much this morning. On the one hand, you've allowed them to pursue their studies and their passions, which is not necessarily in line with what you are doing
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
construction. Okay, aircraft may have be related, but really there's no relation.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the opportunity to follow their passion, and should they wish
Yes.
to pursue education and even working in that regard, they've got the option.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also been empowered with a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of the biggest challenge we are all for education. I mean, I'm big on education. I'm big on
Mm-hmm.
education. I'm all for education. Um, and but because when we grew up, there were two ways in which we could make money. Or at least that's what our parents told us. One
Mm-hmm.
was you would marry a good person. I love what you said about that. If you want a car, you need to have a car. If you want someone with a car, you now need to be the one with a car. But our parents relied on marrying a good person. And yes, there are people who married into money and they found money and they were able to settle. That's the one option. But
Mm-hmm.
it has got so many complications these days, that
Yes.
option.
Mm-hmm.
And the second option, which for the longest of time was our way out, many of us, our parents would say that in my language. My father would say, "Funde mntanam, uzoba
Mm-hmm.
ngumuntu ebantwini."
Yes.
And many of us would attest to that. Funde mntanam, uzoba
Mm-hmm.
ngumuntu ebantwini.
Mm-hmm.
And really, many of us, our brothers and our sisters, and of course, even those that are coming behind us, that there is still a better opportunity, there's still a better chance of getting a good job when you are well educated. But we also know
Mm-hmm.
the side of that coin that people are now struggling. They've got their qualifications, they're struggling to find work because of the economic times that we are living in. But the
Mm-hmm.
other side, of course, and I think this is where many of us come in, side hustling, is that the job will give you what the boss thinks that they can afford, not
Mm-hmm.
so much what you are worth, not so much what you
Yes.
need. And so, what you then need to do is you have your side hustle to be able to meet your needs, to be able to get
Mm-hmm.
what you believe you are worth. So, even if you have a job, it does have um, that other side to it. That it pays me, but it doesn't pay me enough. It doesn't pay me what I need. It doesn't pay me what I believe I am worth. So I've
Mm-hmm.
got to find something else that's going to help me. So that's a very powerful point. Now, what I want you to then move over to, Naomi, but I'm going to first read some comments so that I can give you a bit of a break in this regard. What I want you to talk about is basically picking up from what you said about your daughters being groomed in the business, but of course
Mm-hmm.
they are still running as professionals. Because on the other side, we have business owners. You need to shift a little bit more, because by the way, you are coming out now. You are becoming a little bit more on the outside, so you need to shift
Oh,
so that
sorry.
we you. Okay. So on the other side is where when we grow up and we want to give our children everything, because we did not have what we needed. The balance between that and giving them the skills, because there's that, and we grew up poor, so there's no need for our children to grow up poor.
Mm-hmm.
But in giving them everything, we are possibly also creating, for lack of a better word, weaklings, people who are a sense of entitlement, So I'd like to get your views on that in terms of challenging them, but at the same time allowing them to, to benefit from the fact that, well, mommy and daddy are not as poor as grandmother and grandfather. So I'd like to get your views on that, on how do we create that balance where we give them. There are children who are given businesses, and that was the death of that business. Or some businesses die at the death of the parents, because in that family, the children, they just always got the money from the business, and they never really knew just how difficult it is to take care of it. But of course, there's the other side of the coin where I have resentful children because the parents are pushing them very hard because they are scared of what would happen if the business, there are people who are running away from their family businesses because they are told you will be running this business too. So I just want to get your views on that. But let me hear some comments just to give you a bit of a breather. So Nolunga says, I love the concept of working for your money. Sis Lulu says, as you are right, as parents, we want our children to have better lives than we had, basically what I'm talking about. But we then allow them to be complacent. I love how you've allowed your children to be directly involved in the family business. And it's like, am I apt? But they can still pursue their studies because you are able to afford that. I love the concept of letting them run the business for a month. So that's resonating with many of us. We need to change the mindset of the new generation. It is okay to work. It's okay to get employed. It's okay to be professionals. But it is also okay to have a business. In fact, it's not, it's becoming necessary now. It's becoming necessary for somebody to have other means of income. Somebody just greeting us, Masiho, and great lessons, Sis Naome. All right, so I'm going to hand over back to you now to just get your thoughts on what I've said and maybe on some of the comments that I've read. Are you having to charge?
Okay. Yeah, I'm charging later.
Okay.
What I wanted to say that sometimes is I don't know the concept where we got it. If you look at the white guys, sorry about that, sister.
It's okay. Okay. So while Naome is, are you ready? Are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Continue, guys, because I've already did have my bit. So
okay.
You're saying
okay. What I wanted to say is that we need to change the mindset. Sometimes as adults, we want to do our things privately, secretly, so that the kids do not know. So as a family, even when I was working, we could sit around the table. What are your expenses? What do you want this month? So this is what I can get.
Yeah.
So we are going to live within these means. So what I did with my daughters, even when it comes to business, this is where we are sitting as a business. Yeah. So you need to know so that you don't ask above. This is what we can afford.
Yeah.
So just to be open with them and how we get the money. So when they were still young, sometimes I used to work overtime. When I work overtime, when they finish school, I go and fetch them. They come to work. Okay, we are here. We are here to work for extra hours. So where can you assist? Mommy, I can start cutting the leather. I can start putting glue, this and that. So they started to be part of the business as young as they were. Yeah. So make them to be part and parcel of everything you are doing. Don't leave them out and say, I'm building this business for them, and then they're going to be able to sustain it when they are gone. No. Build the business with them so that they know how the operations are. How do you get the money?
Yeah.
So let them be part and parcel.
Yeah, I love that. Let them be part and parcel. So I love that because then they grow up knowing that there are two ways to making money. And you guys have demonstrated that to them. There are two ways to earning an income. You can go from, well, there are a number of ways. Let me not even say two. You can go and get it from the boss, but you can also be the boss, or you can have a boss and still also be the boss. I want to talk about something now that sometimes sounds, and I'd like to hear from the community as well. It sounds very harsh sometimes when you think about this. And it is a feature for Black people, and therefore it's also a feature for Black women as well. And that is the whole issue of unemployment. I have my views about it, but I want to hear yours first. The whole issue of unemployment, where when someone is unemployed, all right, whether they've ever been employed or they were employed but now they've been retrenched, where someone's I'm unemployed and it feels like the end, like there's nothing. I'm trying to find them the most gracious way to say and to ask this question, because we also never want to make people feel bad. We never want to judge people, but there is a almost like a helplessness that prevails in unemployment. Like I'm unemployed, but I'm healthy, I'm young, I've got my health, I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm unemployed, but it's like I'm hopeless and helpless. And I have a different view in terms of what's possible. But like I said, let me not impose that view on you, because I think it is also one of the challenges with our communities at this present moment, where when we are unemployed, the world has come to an end. When either when you lose a job or when you can't find a job, and it's the same thing is when parents send children to university and they get your NSFAS, or they borrow money to get the children, and the child graduates, and then the child can't find a job, and the world has ended. Like there's nothing else that this child can do. I think you're getting what I'm trying to say. Let me get your views.
Okay. Yeah, just what I want to say is, I think it's about changing our mindset. Because like as we grow up, you'll go to school, go to university, and get a job. But this is not the way now. The rate of employment, if you look at our youth, those are the most people who are not employed. But those people who are in the industry are the ones who are circulating in the working industry.
Yeah, true.
So we need to equip them. And they can find some, the learnerships, which they can easily get to the industry. As I was saying, that my younger daughter is she's doing aircraft engineering.
Yeah.
So she did 1 year theory, and these 2 years, there's a company which has taken her already. She's doing the practicals. So if she proves herself, then she's got the job.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can go to university for 5-6 years, and then after that, you can't get a job. And you are only focused on academic, there's nothing. And then if you can't get a job, you start getting depressed or what? Yeah, because it's like you know what, we put on the horses that you're just focusing on this one point. So we need to equip them that if you don't get this, but you still have this. Yes.
Yeah, because there's a certain depression that's prevailing. And I say this because I work with young people. There's a certain depression that's prevailing among them and their parents, that my child can't find work. She's sitting at home every day and is depressed when watching people going to work. And my view is that if you can't find work, make work. Make work, especially if you've been to university, but even if you have not been to university, because then you find people, then you find, and yes, somebody used to say, I used to think that entrepreneurship is a skill, like it's a skill that you must acquire. But as I grow up, I think it's a mindset. I think it's a mindset, because all of us know that I can buy, if I buy 10 sweets and I buy each sweet for 2 rand and I can sell the sweet for 3 rand, I make 1 rand from 1 sweet, therefore I make 10 rand profit. We all know the basic, and that's a basic a thing of but it's a mindset. I think more and more, I think it's a mindset than it is a skill. So for and if we were to all perhaps capture that mindset, that you know what, if I can't find an employment which I desire, but I wonder if I can do something. It may be something small, but if I can do something that allows me maybe to generate a little bit of income that can help me to maybe meet my needs and perhaps grow from there. I worry about the helpless posture that prevails, I think, especially in our Black communities, that is waiting for government. Government must provide. Yes, government has to provide. They have a role to provide opportunities, but I've also learned that they can't provide for everyone. So if we are waiting for someone to give, we may never, be able to get there. But like I said, I'm really not wanting to judge because everybody's got different scenarios. But I do think that there's something that can be done. Let me take these comments here. I wanted to start with this one, with Ukani, that the main reason for unemployment is because we have stuck with that school of thought from our parents that get educated and get employed. It's so true. And hence, I'm saying entrepreneurship has also got to now be a new school of thought, like you are doing with your daughter. So she says we need to empower our children with skills that will help them generate their own income. Sis Lulu says that our son has struggled to get employment and we have no helper at home. So he literally does housework, including preparing meals weekdays, does the washing and sorts out cars, helps us get ready in the morning, and is now her PA and gets paid for all of this. You see, again, he wakes up with that. What are you doing today? There's a plan for that day. You know, there's something to be done in that particular. And I think that is where the depression comes from. That I often say to the ones that are unemployed, even if you wake up to go and put your CVs in some places or go and volunteer, if you really want, I want to work as a nurse, go to the clinic, go to the school and say, listen, I'm unemployed. I graduated as a nurse, but I need, can I just come here and watch what you do and help you out? That way you don't sit at home, because I think the sitting at home is also the depressing part. I said that the other day. All right. Kanye says, how I wish I could learn from the Chinese and the Jews, whose children must have a skill by the time they are 12 years old. You see, so there's much that can be done, but I think we can start somewhere. Yes, we need to change our mindset towards employment. Making money should only be left to formal employment. Should not only be left to formal employment. That time passed a long time ago. Businesses are a very important part of our economy now. It really is. And of course, countries do their part in helping, especially young entrepreneurs. There's many opportunities. You know, once you get below 35, there are opportunities. But again, if you're sitting at home, as Mendoza would say, there's a number of young teachers who have graduated and now unemployed. Most of them are under 30. Why not go to the NYTA to get funding to open schools? Just an example. Yeah, there's always something. For me, I'm just running away from nothing. I was once unemployed, says Kanyi, an unemployed graduate, and my dad bought me a PC and a printer at Mokel's. There comes the furniture shops. And I started my own printing business way back in 1997. So, and I'm taking the comments because what we're doing here, because if I don't take them, some people might miss them. So we are adding to our conversation, Naomi. Yes, we need to change our mindset, making money. Okay, I think Tony is just correcting that there. And somebody says mindset indeed, because if we are not flexible to try other alternatives, even when employed, such mindset will lead you to be stuck at the same point or the same job, even when you are no longer there. Absolutely. Sometimes you get into a job and you walked in as this PA and you be the PA until retirement. There's a lot. Again, that's a mindset. Entrepreneurship, innovation, growth, development, progress. Okay, so there's a lot going on, and people are talking to what you said. I love your point of involving the children in the family business while they're still young. It's great because it opens their minds as if they grow up to stand on their own. All right, thank you so much, ladies, and keep them coming, because this conversation is not just we never come here as experts. We come here to start the conversation. And so I love it when you join the conversation. Now, my sister, I want us then, as we are approaching the end of this conversation, to go to the following issue about entrepreneurship. I believe it's a mindset, but there is also and this is in the era of social media, and I'm trying to find the right English, but there is also the glamorous side of it. You know, how the existing or the striving or the present entrepreneurs, they make it so glamorous. You know, that it is attractive, which is beautiful, but what sometimes attracts us is what we think it is because of the people that make it glamorous. And in that process, all the sweat that is involved is hidden. That sometimes we start it because we want to look like they look, because we see the beautiful postings on social media, and we think that it is also glamorous, and so we go in there and it doesn't look as glamorous as it looks. So that's the one part to my question. The other part to my question is I think we spoke about it the other day, just the simple misconception between revenue and profit. You know how sometimes we go in, right, and we want to portray this particular, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an entrepreneur, we sort of want to define ourselves as this person, and in that process sometimes make a mistake between income and between revenue and profit, and we spend our revenue. And in other words, there is the work of entrepreneurship, then there's the look of entrepreneurship, if you know what I mean. So sometimes we spend more time trying to look like entrepreneurs. Because I'm a businesswoman, I need to, this is the kind of car I'm supposed to be driving. I need to dress in a particular way, and I need to look in a particular way. I even need to speak in a particular way. And in that process, maybe compromising myself. In other words, striking the balance. I'm not saying we must live as though we are poor if we are not poor, but sometimes we blink. That's the word. We blink too quickly. You started a business this year, you already want to move to a new neighborhood, and you get your first million, you buy a 500,000 car. Speak to that, because that's also a problem. And it hits when you hit a dry patch in the business, because you were spending everything to try and maintain a certain image, the entrepreneur, the businesswoman image. You were spending everything that you were making, and now the business hits a dry patch. You haven't got something to live on until the dry patch passes, because you made and you spent. I don't know if you've captured everything that I've said now, but I'd just like to get your views on that.
Yes, yes, I did, Sispi. You know what? If you do not make your hands dirty, yeah. Sometimes we don't see the story behind the entrepreneurship. We only see the fruits, but when they're doing the dirty works there, you don't see it. There's a lot of work you have to put in.
Sleepless nights,
but
in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of work behind the scenes. As an entrepreneur, especially when you have people now working for you.
Yeah. There's also that.
You really have to pray about it, Lord. These families, they're being provided through this company. It's not an easy task. So you need to pray about it and also put more effort and work very hard. But sometimes the social media, they put the reaping part, but the working part, they do not put it. So people, they are drawn because they are seeing the reaping part. Being an entrepreneur, it's very nice. Yes, it's very nice. It's got its advantages and its disadvantages. Yeah. So when it comes to, there's a point you touch about finances. Discipline. We spoke about discipline. Discipline. Whatever you do, count the cost. You count the cost. As I said to you, that live as if you are the only one. Do not mind. Do not do things because I want people to see me that I'm driving big. I'm living in this neighborhood. But count the cost, because there are rainy days. The rainy days are gonna come. So whatever you get, you need to have your budget. And you need to save. I remember when you started 2012, it was a busy year. And I said, this is a year of saving. Little did we know that 2013 is going to be a dry year. We survived through those savings for 2012. So sometimes when we get money, sit down and count the cost. Okay, it cannot all be profit. There is a little margin of profit. So work with that. Don't work with the entire, otherwise you're going to eat the capital and then the business is gone.
Yeah. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. I think I love what Paul is saying here. You don't eat the seed. In our language, we say that. That I kiwa in the social media glamorizes the fruits. And when we post days when we are at work, you don't see the many likes. That's so true. That's so true. But I think back to your powerful statement that you make, that live as if there are no other people. Let's forget about, because I think it's that sometimes it's really us trying to impress people who don't care much. At the end of the day, you are the one that suffers, because when you're going into business, you also, look at what you've done. You've had a good year, a year of plenty, and then the following year, the dry season comes. So the rain will come, but then also droughts will come. I've been so empowered here Naome, and I'm just appreciated the holistic empowerment in terms of yes, get into entrepreneurship, but how to keep things going. And I guess your bookkeeping experience comes in handy, right, in your business, or
Yes,
your
it does.
bookkeeping skill,
Yes.
you know.
So the bookkeeping, I was studying it to go and work for somebody, but God said, you know what? This
Mm.
tailor thing, you are undermining this humble beginnings. That's
Yeah,
where your money is gonna come. The bookkeeping is just gonna be a package for you to be able to maintain that finance which I'm going to give you. So
yeah, yeah.
sometimes we've got our ways, but God has got His own way in our
Ah,
lives.
Kusiam.
Mhm.
Romans 8
Mm.
28. In all things.
Yes, yes,
Things God
yes,
God works for the good of those who love it, because you wanted to be a bookkeeper. God, you
yes,
know you need that skill, by the way, but
yes.
actually this thing here is going to feed you that which you are doing. That's also so powerful, and I think that's also another idea in terms of entrepreneurship. Often you start with what you've got. You know,
Mm,
if you're not an IT technician, it's going to be very difficult for you to start an IT business. Not impossible, but often
mm,
your business starts with the skills that you have been given. Some
mm,
of them you discover, of course, even as you go along, that you discover you've got those skills. All right, I want us to now to sort of bring it to the end, but there's one more thought. It is in line with what
mm,
we're going to talk about today. One of the reasons why God calls us to be heads and not tails,
mm,
to more business owners as opposed to those who are depending on others, is so that we can also be of value to the poor. My husband often talks
mm,
about the verse that we all know: the poor you shall always have.
mm,
And I love his posture on that. Poor in terms of those who have no money, but poor is also those who are different to you, who are lower than you in
mm,
a particular
mm,
area. So as an adult, children are poor to me, you know. And we can go into that story. So even as we go into business, and I want you to talk about this before I let you then make your closing remarks after my announcements. Talk about then the importance, even as we pursue business, the importance, one, of keeping God central in our whether it's a side hustle or a job, but keeping God at the center of it all. Because I've loved, I don't know if you know how often you've used the phrase, but God said, and I
mm,
love that.
mm,
So the importance
mm,
of keeping God at the center of our businesses, of our of all these things. Number one. Number two, the importance of being a blessing to others. You know,
mm,
that which God has given us, He takes it and He blesses it and gives it us to for us, for our edification. But there's got to be another person. When God gives you that 5 rand, 1 rand
mm,
comes back to Him in the tithe and offering. Another 1 rand perhaps needs to go to the hungry, you know, to the poor, and then you keep the 3 rand. I'm just making an example. So speak to us
mm.
about that. In other words, the centrality of God in the work that we do, but also the remembering those that are in need in that same process.
Yes. Um, sometimes when I'll give an example, when you're not working, when you're
Mm,
praying for a job, you say, God, if you give me a job, I will
yeah,
return tithes and offerings.
I know. I know.
So
Don't make that promise.
that's how we started that lot. This is where we want to be. But
Mm,
God has excelled above what we can imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Shall I render unto God for all
Mm.
his goodness
Hey,
towards me? Yeah.
I ain't good.
So
Yeah,
now I had this plan, but
yeah.
God had this plan.
Mm,
So what I can say, I've seen the hand of the Lord working in that business. So
mm,
I do not have any reason to say
yeah.
God does not exist or God is not part of this. So
Mm,
as I was
mm,
saying that you get clients like now the way we are busy, we are
mm.
getting clients from DRC, from
Oh,
Zambia. We never marketed there, but God
wow.
is doing His work for us there. And
He's
you just hear a
everywhere.
phone call. A phone
Mm,
call, okay.
mm,
I've been referred by so and so. So
mm,
we literally see my husband is the accountable manager and doing the
mm.
marketing. And he said, you
Yeah.
know what, love, I've never marketed that. And I said, it is only God.
Mm,
So God is the center of our business because when
mm,
we started with Him. So
mm.
what we used to do in the morning,
Yeah.
we with our workers, we do the morning devotion. And sometimes
Mm,
it gets dry, nothing. And you hear
yeah.
there's a madala who retired last year. He'll say,
Mm,
mommy, you know what? At home, I'm also praying for my company. That
Oh my.
it is
Oh,
so quiet. I'm just
mm,
praying that God gives us some work. So
mm,
it's not that you'll be busy every day, but there are those
yeah.
seasons. There is
Mm,
winter, there is summer. So
mm,
you just need to hang in there, trusting in the Lord. That's
yeah.
where faith comes in. And the
Yeah.
definition of faith is what?
Mm,
Evidence of things.
mm,
Yeah.
unseen. Mm, yeah.
Unseen things. And you say to God, for now, we don't
Mm,
have, but we will have. I remember
mm,
there's the other time when there was nothing. And I said, Lord, I'm ready for working. I'm just going to
mm,
call the technician to come and service the machines
mm,
and let's
mm,
clean the workshop and everything be ready. We
mm.
have to be ready for working. Yeah,
Oh,
so we have to wait upon the Lord in anticipation that, okay, Lord, I'm ready. And then it's
yeah.
your part to take care of, I'm
Wow.
ready. And
Mm,
then you are the only one left on your side. And
yeah.
God definitely comes through.
Wow.
God
This, yeah.
does come through. So
Mm,
that's why God is the center of everything. Because
mm,
when you look back where you were and where we are now, you
yeah.
can literally say,
Can only be God. Mm,
yes, I don't have power over anything, but it
mm,
is only God.
yeah.
So we always pray for the spirit of humbleness that, Lord, humble
Mm,
us. Even
yeah.
if we're blessed with all these things, help us
Mm.
also to be a blessing to others.
Yeah, mm,
Mhm.
that's beautiful. I love how one of your workers starts to work for your company because that also then speaks to the importance of treating your staff right.
Mhm.
And again, it goes back to the centrality of God in the business. That if everybody there is a child of God and you happen to be the steward of that particular business, which
Mhm.
it itself has been dedicated to God, then you have a certain way in which you treat people that
Mhm.
belong to God. But anyway, so we're gonna go now, and I'm gonna allow you to have your closing remarks. So if there's something that you feel you need to have said, bringing it back to the importance of empowering our young people really, but as a
Mhm.
as a as a women platform that we focus more on young women because also we're living in a day. My biggest issue, one of my biggest
Mhm.
reasons why I do the empowerment work at the Theatre of Grace
Mhm.
is that more and more women are leading. More and more women are leading. Women are heads of their families.
Mhm.
Even those who are married, they have to take on a bigger role now. I was thinking
Mhm.
about this the other
Mhm.
day that the helpmeet often has to stand now. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, Adam is still there, but the helpmeet has to stand and take on a bigger role. And so if she's financially able to do that, things are even
Mhm.
better. But in most cases, of course, she runs the home alone. So there's many more single parent families now than there was in the past. So the whole
Mhm.
role of providing has fallen on
Mhm.
women to be able to provide for the entire
Mhm.
family. And of course, as it happens now, sometimes your husband loses a job and you have to be the one that has to provide in the cases of those who are married. So if we are not empowered, if we do not know how
Mhm.
to generate income, we are then going to lose. But then again, we as women are also those we are not afraid to start things. We are not afraid to
Mhm.
do the things that are need to be done. And so the beauty of this conversation is that we are speaking to a group of people that are already that way inclined. Why not
Mhm.
then empower them? One of these days we're going to have someone, because what we spoke about last week is that in that process of trying to make ends meet, some of us have fallen into debt. So how
Mhm.
then do we systematically help ourselves get out of debt? So I'm going to try and find someone that can help us to work through that. So this is
Mhm.
why this conversation for me is very important. So I'm going to let you have your
Mhm.
closing remarks. Um, but before you do, I want to just quickly make my announcements again.
Mhm.
Ladies, those of us who joined us late, a reminder, please, we have the month of July is a month of service here at the Theatre of Grace. We have
Mhm.
received so much grace from God, and He has used other humans to dispense grace to us. And now we are opening our hands, our hearts, and maybe even our pockets to God to say, thank you for the grace that was dispensed to me. I'm here and willing and able and available to dispense grace to another. So from today, there are a number of chapters that are out there in the communities doing community work, from providing clothing to orphans, from feeding in some orphanages, from buying fleece blankets, shoes, etc. etc. There's a lot of work going on. I'm so grateful. Buying packs, sanitary wear. I'm just so grateful for the work that's taking place, and it's taking place throughout the month of August, where the Theatre of Grace community is in our communities, being a blessing, dispensing the grace of God. Grace in action, guys. Grace in action. Now, I'm also making a call. On the 9th of August, we've got National Women's Day here in South Africa, and our focus at the Theatre of Grace this year is on young women. So we've got a school in Motherwell that's expecting us. We are visiting with those girls there. There's about 701 of them. Now, I don't want to visit empty-handed, ladies. Can you please help me? Of course, we as the Kabeja chapter are going to do that. I don't want to visit empty-handed. I want to bring the girls some beautiful packs. So we are collecting dignity packs. Each pack costs about 70 Rand, all right? So if you can just donate for one girl. But if you are able to donate for 10, for 15, for however many girls that you are able to donate to, I'd love to have you help us with that. And as I said, we will share then in our various platforms where those donations can be sent. And I want to thank you in advance. Whenever we make those calls, the ladies will come in and assist us. And then lastly, Theatre of Grace Conference. My goodness, things are coming together. We are in Johannesburg, Benoni, from the 26th to the 29th of October. And God has got something amazing planned there for us. We have a little bit of space. So when we went, we were able to expand a little bit because we were pushing for 300. We are now able to get up to 350. So we haven't got too much space, but we have a little bit of space. Very little left still at the hotel, but we have a little bit more room for day visitors. But we have said, even for day visitors, don't wait until October to say, I'm going to pay at the door. Register now. I've sent the link. I've shared the link wherever it is that you are. In this conversation, if you scroll up, you will see the link at the top. Register and pay your registration fee, because I'm sure by the end of July, everything will be in, or maybe August, everybody would have been in. So there will be no room for day visitors rocking up at the door in October, all right? Because we haven't got that much space anyway. But the good news is that there is still a little bit of space left now, and you can join us. Naome, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the insights that you have shared here to us. And I think I can echo the sentiments that it was a beautiful conversation, powerful conversation. Young and old need to hear this. I know I've needed to hear this, but I think it's very, very important that we start to having these conversations with our daughters as well, because times are changing, times are tough. And thank you for your willingness to come and share your story with us and come and share your insights with us. And I pray that God may expand your territory, that you might continue to get more and more clients, because the bigger you get, the more families get to be fed, more people benefit from that. And I pray for those girls that at some point, one of them would run those businesses or something better. Sometimes they take what you've got and they just grow it and they make it something even bigger and even better. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to allow you to have your closing remarks, and then you can also pray for us.
Okay, that's fine. What I want to say, I'm so thankful with the WhatsApp group we have as Grace Theatre. Before I did my presentation, and I said God is a God of order, because there was the topic of identity, knowing yourself. Yeah. So in so doing, when you are running a business, in entrepreneurship, that word is big. You need to know yourself.
Yeah.
You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses and work towards that. If you look at Moses, God asked him, what do you have? Sometimes we want to go far-fetched things, but let's work with what we have. If I can bake, it's a business. If I can cook, it's a business. Humble beginnings. If you look at those big businesses, they'll tell you, we started in our garage. We started So let us not undermine those humble beginnings. You start small. As you climb the ladder, you step on the first step as you go up. So let's be willing to be dirty, to have dirty hands. Let's be willing to do those things which you do not love, so that you can have that lifestyle which you love.
Yeah. I love that.
Sometimes we
Mm,
have to do things we don't love so that we
mm.
get things we love.
Yeah.
Let's not vice versa it.
I love
But
that.
above all, let's put first God. God is going to lead the way. He says, try me.
Mm,
He
mm,
says, test and see that the Lord is good. If you
mm,
test something and you see what it's nice, you'll never leave
mm.
it.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
in that, you will see the promises of God. When God promises,
mm,
definitely He fulfills. Sometimes we don't claim those promises. That's why sometimes they say, you know what?
mm,
It's not going to happen.
mm,
So planning is important. Us as a company, December, we literally go out to
mm,
do the planning for the company. We just pray about God. These are the plans we have. Next
mm,
year, I need so much in my bank account. I'm
mm.
not scared to ask for a big amount because I know God owns it all.
Mm,
Yeah. So next year, these are my plans. We pray
mm,
about it. And sometimes we ask so little and God gives us in
mm.
abundance.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm.
those are the remarks I can say that this week, fear
Mm.
not,
Yeah.
fear not. Most of
Mm.
the things we fear the unknown,
Mm.
fear not. We have
Yeah.
to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and
Mm.
lean on His understanding, and He's going to lead the way.
Mm. Yeah.
hmm So
I
those are
consider,
my.
yeah, I'm empowered,
Mhm.
I'm encouraged, I'm inspired. I feel so blessed this morning and to have been part of this. I'm so glad that I've heard this. I sometimes worry, I say, God, sound mangalela. All these grace talks sound mangalela, but I pray that God
Mm,
can help all of us, give us the grace to act. The grace to act.
mm,
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And all the best to the chapters that are out in the communities today. May God lead and may God really truly expand that which you have brought to our brothers and our sisters who are in need in their various communities. And thank you, Naomi, once again for blessing us. And everybody else, thank you so much. We'll meet on Wednesday for our Wellness Wednesday morning devotion, 4:30 a.m. Otherwise, let's just keep going, guys. Keep going. I just, you know what, I've decided to say this. I'm just in a new year mode. In the second half of this year, just new year, reset, start again. Right? Okay, sis, can you please pray for us?
uh, Let us close our eyes in prayer. To our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you this morning for the gift of life. Glory and honor can only be given unto you, for you are worthy to be praised, Lord. We want to thank you, Lord, for leading this session. We want to thank you, Lord, for each and everyone who has joined, Lord. We want to thank you that you have spoken to them in a mighty way, Lord. There are those who are being discouraged. I hope and trust that we have encouraged them. There are those who are anticipating to start the business, Lord. May you give them that courage. May you remove that fear. May you help them to trust in you that you are the only giver. You are the provider. You own it all, Lord. How can we suffer as your children having a father like you? Help us
Yeah.
to remove that spirit of fear, Lord. Be with us as we have started a new week, a new month, Lord. May we change our mindset, Lord, the way we were thinking in our day-to-day life. We want to trust and believe that we have heard this prayer because we've prayed in the name of our Son, coming Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Naomi, and
Amen.
have a blessed week, everybody.